I think it was Martin from Channel 64 said that Binnish in I think German basically means am I, so my Twitch name is am I live in German. Yeah, when you make it a big thing, then people have opinions about it. But if you just kind of do it, then it's like, oh, it's just a person's face. Who cares?
Have you had any near-death experiences?
I've had 2. Well, technically, yeah, 3. 3. Okay.
Do you think having a totem ruins the experience?
They're literal movies. It is a crime that he only has 600 subs. It was the first SMP I've ever been on that had paperwork.
Oh, okay.
It was
you had to sign
incredibly.
A bunch of stuff?
Harrington got the email and like sent it to all of us, and we were just like freaking out, like how did this happen? I was like scream crying with my dad, who was just as excited as I was.
Like... That's so sweet, Daddy. Like it's nice that Dad supports you so much as well. Alright lads, welcome back to the InsideMC podcast, the part of the podcast where I sit down with a very special, amazing guest every single week. And because there's no announcements this week, we're getting straight into the podcast. Oh my goodness, what the heck? I am joined with a member of the Channel 64 SMP. As far as I'm aware, they have a 3-year-old hardcore world. They can fact check me as soon as I introduce them. They were also part of the Orange Ocelots in MCC Rising 2. I am joined with Binnish.
Hello.
How are you?
Yes, it's a 3-year hardcore world. Yes.
It's 3 years. Okay, cool. Fair play, Roman. You did the research correct.
Yeah.
No, me and but for clarification for that is myself and Roman. Roman helps me do research. She's very, very good at it, a lot better than I am. So I do like research of guests, of course, because I have to, and so I've like checked stuff about you, so I know stuff. But Roman essentially does like the deep dive of stuff like 3-year-old hardcore world I didn't find, but she did, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of idea there. So, but yeah, how are you today, Binnish?
I'm good. It's been a nice cozy morning. It rained last night. It's nice. It smells good. I'm having a great day.
Yeah, time zones have really made this podcast recording interesting. I mean,
yeah,
it's like 11 a.m. for you right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like first thing in the morning. I'm just waking up, and you're like, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah, because it's 7 p.m. on a Sunday. Like I have work tomorrow. I have to be off for work tomorrow. And like, I mean, I have to. I don't know, because I record the podcast only on a Monday, anyways. But like, you know, I'm ending my Sunday night recording a podcast, and you're starting your Sunday morning recording the podcast. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, we were talking away before the podcast started anyway, so that was really nice. That I can already tell that the vibes the vibes of every podcast are amazing, but I can tell this one is going to be like really nice. So
off the charts.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to getting into it. I got a lot of topics. I purposely haven't done research into I've researched the topics, but I haven't done like purposely deep dives into them, because I always like to hear them fresh from you, like find out new stuff to me, because the reactions are more better then. But before we get into talking about you and talking about the podcast, really, I always like to give the intro for you to introduce yourself, because obviously I can say who you are and what you've done, but it's better from you to kind of give us a rundown of who you are, what you've done, and even if you have a fun fact, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm Binnish. I'm a part of Channel 64. I'm a disabled content creator streamer. I have a 3-year hardcore world that we're like just finished up mega build and starting on the next one soon. What else do I do? Oh, I paint. I do some art things. And yeah, just kind of do variety of Minecraft videos and streams and all that jazz.
Nice. That's a nice little rundown. And I that's one of the things like with the whole like intro part, which is quite nice as well, because it also like obviously the disabled part I partially knew, but like I didn't really know until I asked just before the podcast, and I also didn't know you did art. So you know,
yeah.
I mean, I follow you on Twitter and everything, but I don't believe you. Do you post your art? Oh wait, no.
Every once in a while. I posted one recently.
Yeah,
it's like
the one in the background,
little
right?
Cat
the
holding a fish.
Yes, okay, yeah. No, I do know you do. I couldn't remember if that was you or if I was like because I follow you on Twitter, of course. So I wasn't sure if I was just like tripping. Yeah, the cat holding the fish. That's such a good canvas drawing, by the way.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Thank you.
There you go. I've just liked it. I should have liked it before. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you're testing out new watercolor sets. So it was you. Okay, cool. I couldn't. It's just one of the things I didn't write down because I've been out today. I kind of normally have the topics like in a Discord DM with Roman, and then I like write down them in a Word document before we record, which is what I did today. However, I was out playing bingo this morning, so.
Very fun.
yeah. So I kind of like, that's one of the things that just because I kind of skimmed over the Discord DMs. I remembered most of it. That's just one of the things I didn't remember. But yeah, it's a very cool intro. I'm sure everyone's hooked. Binnish, excited for the podcast to begin.
Yes. I'm a well-trained content creator. Well-trained.
your vibes are very immaculate. I must give you that. A very good vibe. With that being said, then let's start with talking about your past. Not a deep dive, as we mentioned. This isn't going to be a therapy session.
It all started.
Oh no.
Therapy session.
This isn't like the InsideMC therapy. Here we go. It's a brand new addition to the podcast. It's gonna go out every single Monday instead of every single Friday. That's why we're recording on a Sunday and not Monday, because I'm actually recording a proper podcast tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
You've been fooled. I've tricked you. Oh my god, this podcast is gonna be so scuffed. Not like bad scuffed, just like goofy.
Oh man.
I mean, the vibes kind of match the name, Binnish. But where did the idea of Binnish come from? What's the whole idea behind that name?
So my original name was gonna be Lemon when I was like trying to get into content, and it was so like generic. I was like, hey, that's so boring. So I was like trying to figure out what I wanted, and I couldn't think of anything. So I wanted the name. I wanted something with a sh sound in it, like snifferish, or I think this one that I was like, I want that kind of name.
Yeah.
And then I just was like sitting in my room making noises with the sh sound. So I'm like, Binnish. I like that one. and now we're here. And I think it was Martin from Channel 64 said that Binnish in I think German basically means am I. So my Twitch name is Am I Live in German.
So cool. Wait, that's actually quite funny. That's actually funny.
Yeah. Am I live? Am I posted a video? What? I don't know.
Posted a video? Oh man.
Oh man.
The thing is that that's so believable as well. Like, even if you're lying, that's such a believable story. Just based on how you've been on this podcast already, and like, you know, we've only been. We first talked today. Like, we've DM'd, of course, a little bit, but today was the first time we've actually interacted with each other. So the fact that, you know, like you're like, yeah, I just sat in my room making random noises. It's so believable.
Yeah, like I don't honestly. I think that really is just the way that I found it. Like, because I couldn't find. I was trying to find something like, you know, like some kind of word or synonym that like I liked, or like, I don't know, lemon. I think lemon was the original name that I had, and I was like making all these graphics, and I'm like, this is so like Pinterest basic. Like, I need something more me, and it was just making noises, and now we're here.
Yeah,
so.
but you said you wanted something with the sh name, but your original name was going to be Lemon, so it was going to be like lemon lemonish. That would actually been a pretty cool name, to be fair, as well, though.
Yeah, that one's not bad.
Can I ask
time for a rebrand?
Yes. Can I ask why lemon was the original like idea, though? Is there any reason behind that?
I think it was. I think I drew the character first. So the image that's I think it's the like profile picture of my Twitch and my YouTube. I drew that.
Green and yellow,
yeah. I think I drew that before I came up with any names. And then I think that was before I even wanted to start streaming and stuff too. So I was like, I drew that guy, and I'm like, okay, little OC, stick that over there. And then when I wanted to get into like actually making content, I was like, hey, why don't I just use this as like persona? Because I was like 14. I didn't want to put my face on the internet. So so I was like trying to name the character, and I was like, well, it's green and yellow, you know, maybe lemon, you know, lemon boy, you know, something like that.
Then in the end you just settled with Binnish.
Yeah, I think that was the name of the file, was lemon boy.
I think Binnish is a bit better than lemon boy.
Yeah.
A
little bit more flavorful.
So I had someone on the podcast recorded last Monday. So that podcast. So how it tends to happen is we're recording this Sunday, but the podcast won't come out the Friday coming. It'll come out the Friday after. So it comes out in like a week and a half. The reason I do that is just so it gives me time to edit, because obviously now that I'm uploading 2 podcasts a week, it gives me more time to kind of set the bars. Yeah, edit. So
yeah.
The podcast that is coming out this Friday that was recorded last week was this one called Bumpy Jake, and we was essentially talking about how like I'll say it to you because the podcast would have already been out, so it's not a leak. Is like their original name was something like Bumpy Longnose or something like that, or like something like that. So we got into a bit of a topic of talking about how like names can really affect how people kind of see you online, if that makes sense. Like, you know, for instance, Binnish is, you know, it's a bit of a goofy name, but it's a cool name. But like Lemon Boy, people just kind of see like, Lemon Boy.
Yeah.
Imagine like you got announced for MCC Rising 2 and you're like Lemon Boy, like you know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more recognizable because I feel like there are a lot of people and brands that are kind of centered around lemon. So you say the word lemon, nothing specific pops into your brain, but even as a small creator, you say Binnish and you either don't know what it is or you think of me. You know, like
yeah, exactly.
there's like no in between there. There's no like crossover of different things that it could be, you know.
Plus, searching up like Binnish on Google or on Twitch, it's gonna take it straight to you. But if you search up Lemon Boy, like it's like, you know, I'm sure there's millions of channels for Lemon. It's like Insane Orbits. Like there's a reason there's the insane part, because if you search up Orbitzz, there's the Orbitzz drink, there's the Orbitzz chewing gum, there's like an Orbitzz airline, I think, as well, something like that. But Insane Orbits, even with a space, directs you straight to me, kind of thing.
Yeah, you get that brand name.
Do you mind? And this is just it's going to lead into something. It's not just a weird question. Can I ask your age?
Okay. I am 17.
Okay, cool. So you started content 3 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so that profile picture that you drew, have you had that for 3 years, or was that different 3 years ago?
No, I think it was the same because I made the channel and the Twitch channel all kind of at the same time. So yeah, it's been the same the whole time.
Okay, and so because obviously in your profile picture you're wearing a yellow face mask. However, now on streams, as long as I've known you, you've always streamed with your full face showing. And
yes, that was only pretty recent actually. My friend who we basically have been streaming together for a really long time. She teamed up with my dad to buy me a face cam. Because yeah, it was really sweet. I was like, we were doing something stupid in my hardcore world, and I was like, see, this is why I need a face cam, because I tuck with my hands and I make these stupid faces. And she literally messaged my dad and was like, hey, if you give $40, I'll give $40.
That's so sweet though. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's so nice.
So when did the change come? Because you said obviously when you were 14, which is completely understandable why you didn't want to. You said you didn't want to show your face. So when did the change, or I guess was that the main reason for the change as well? Like where did it, and what was the main reason for you being like, actually, yeah, I want to start showing my face online?
Well, I think I started doing kind of vlog type things. I think I recorded more than I ended up posting, but I was getting more comfortable showing my face, and I wanted to. I think having a stream without a face cam, I think it's harder to connect back to a person, you know. So I very much wanted to thoughts. I wanted to be able to connect my streams almost to a brand, if that makes sense. I wanted to be able to post clips and have it be, oh, that's Binnish.
With the face, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, clips and videos that have face cams are so much funnier.
Yeah,
they're so funny. And just having I have done streams where I don't have it on, just when I don't feel like getting ready in the morning or whatever. But just having the option for it is really nice. And I'm almost an adult anyway. I don't really care about having my face on the internet anymore. I was super nervous about it back when I started because I was pretty young, and I was like,
how long have you been doing face cam for?
It was the start of the year, so probably it's 9 now, so probably 7 or 8 months.
Okay, so not
long
at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
How comes you didn't follow the whole idea of wearing a yellow face mask? Because a lot of creators kind of follow their whole profile page right there. I mean, I can't really think of a reference off the top of my head, but a lot of people have a mask in their profile picture and then have it as when they're on stream they'll wear a mask as well. So was there there we go. There's a creator on Bedrock Edition. His name is GM19. He does face cam streams, but his profile picture is of him wearing a bucket hat and goggles. and on streams he wears a bucket hat, and in YouTube videos he wears a bucket hat and goggles. So was it just because you like a face mask was just, I mean, it kind of blocks your whole audio as well and stuff like that. Like, what was you decide to sort of show my full face? It's just a profile picture.
Well, so a bit of both. So the Binnish drawing, it was originally, it wasn't supposed to be a face mask originally.
Oh.
Like, it's basically, I don't know how to describe it, but basically in the drawing. No, it's basic. I think I had like this whole lore thing when I first drew it, but it's basically a part of his skin essentially. So it's more of like, it's more supposed to be like an abstract, like color block type thing. It's just like it's just part of his existence rather than a face mask. No, you're good. It's kind of deep Binnish lore, so you're fine.
Well, we'll get to hear about it today. I'm excited. Go on, please.
Yeah. So in the first video that I ever posted that had my face in it, I did wear a face mask that like I made myself and it did not stay on at all. But like I don't know, I just didn't really feel like wearing a mask on stream. Like, I was tired enough from wearing masks out all over the place. I'm like, I don't want to, I want to be like more comfortable than that, and it muffles audio and it gets sweaty, and I'm like, I'll just, if I'm gonna show my face at all, I'd rather just show my full face, like all or nothing type deal. So
yeah, that's fair enough. Because for my profile picture, like the idea, because I'm not sure if you've seen mine or like looked into it, but I just have an eye mask essentially.
Yeah, can't stream with that.
Yeah, firstly I can't stream with that. Secondly, it's also because like I before TwitchCon where I did face reveal, I did post my face. I always kind of like showed my face online, but didn't show my face online. Like if, for example, like I'd post pictures of myself, and like if I posted like a picture of me going somewhere or meeting someone, and then I'd cover my face, but I'd post the entire picture and just cover my face with my profile picture. And it was essentially just the idea of like covering my eyes in a sense of I was showing my face but never was showing my face kind of thing. So like, but I could do face cam streams maybe in the future. It's just not something I really want to do. It's just not for me. But then I have the PNG tuber, so I guess it works out, I mean, but I've always said it as well. Like there's so many times where I've done something on stream and it's like I let off a reaction. I'm like, that would be so good for a clip, of me showing my face. But it's just the way I am kind of thing. So in a sense, kind of saying it's like showing how I relate, but how it's different with the whole like different things. But I ended up face revealing at TwitchCon, which was interesting for me. I wasn't sure. I was on the edge about doing it. I kind of just did it, and then it went well because the thing is I didn't hype it up. I feel like it's like better if you kind of just don't hype it up and you kind of just do.
Yeah, when you make it a big thing, then people have opinions about it. But if you just kind of do it, then it's like, oh, it's just a person's face. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you make it like my grand face reveal. I need the whole internet to tell me what they think of my face. Like it makes it weird. It makes it uncomfortable. A picture,
it's just like, yo, we're at TwitchCon, and people are like, oh my god, he didn't cover his face. I'm like, yeah, I didn't cover my face. I'm like, oh cool, and that was it. That's like pretty much the entire thing about it. So, do you remember like your? I know you kind of brushed over a little bit, but like your profile picture. Do you have any idea like with the whole lore aspect? Do you remember why you did it like that though, or was that like? Because I know it's not a face mask like the whole you said there's lore, but do you remember exactly why you kind of just did? I guess the colors you used the colors because of like a lemon. Wait, no, because you said like you were gonna brand as a lemon after the colors, didn't you?
Yeah.
So is there a reason you used the colors you did then?
I don't really remember. I think I was trying to like experiment with doing more abstract stuff. Like what I paint now is a lot more abstract things. So I think back then I was much more into digital art, and so I was like trying to combine styles and make something more abstract. I think I've done a couple other drawings of people in the past that have that sort of like same like split like two-tone color. Like I think I've done one that almost looks like a superhero mask, basically.
Cool.
It was just kind of the style I was experimenting with when I was 14 and trying to be edgy and like I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna be a different artist. But I think why did I use the color?
If you can't remember, it's completely fine. Like you don't have to. It's called It's Stuck Around this long though.
Yeah, I think I just like the colors. I don't think I remember anything like specific. But yeah, I think the two colors work really well together for like branding type stuff, like making like emotes and logos and stuff like that. It's much easier with colors that work really well together.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Mhm.
I've like received like a decent amount of fan art to point where like I'm kind of changing my profile picture all the time. I have my set one, which is my
Mhm.
Twitch one, but like Twitter and
Mhm.
I mean I have my YouTube one as well, but my Twitter and Discord kind of changes occasionally.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
I guess that pretty much covers everything regarding your whole branding.
Yeah, pretty much. I like the colors. It's very good. I very much wanted it to be like sort of like very clean looking and very clean, smooth, like cartoony type kind of looking, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. That's fair.
Yeah.
With that being said, then Finish.
Hmm.
Let's move into talking about more modern day stuff.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So I guess to get the boring thing out the way, let's talk about your hardcore world. No,
Oh, the
no,
lame one.
no, it's not boring. It's very cool. It's very cool. For 3 years, 3 years in a hardcore
Yeah.
world. So
Yes.
this, like as I mentioned, this was actually one of the things I didn't find. I don't know how I didn't find it because I feel like it's probably a big part of your branding. But yeah, because I mean, I guess because obviously I've also known you. I've also only really known you recently. So like most of my research was based on like what I know now as well, the whole like channel C4 and stuff, which we'll get into talking about in a bit. But your hardcore world, do you play it often nowadays, or is it kind of something that you were doing for quite actively and you've kind of slowed down a little bit with it?
A bit of both. So the hardcore world itself isn't exactly 3 years old. I've played it on and off for 3 years. So there was a couple different periods where I had like stopped streaming altogether, which included me not playing my hardcore world. And then I kind of got back into it with just making videos on it, and then I kind of transitioned more into streaming on it. Right now I'm streaming a lot on it, like at least like 3 times a week. This week excluded. I haven't streamed this week, but
Nice.
yeah. But I've gotten more kind of with my most recent mega build. It was really fun to stream for like 5 hours, just getting everything done, and then completing it on stream was like this big moment. So more recently, I've been streaming a lot more on it, but like I prioritize making videos over streaming. So there are times when I'm like, oh, I really gotta edit. I can't stream this week, So
Is the hardcore world only streaming now then, or is it more? Or is it streaming and recording?
It's both. So I do I'll basically do like little intro bit before stream. So I'll be like for the video, I'll do something like, oh, my name is Binnish and I'm doing this thing today, and it all started on stream, and then I'll in the video I'll cut over to my stream and like edit down the parts that I want to included. And then there are times where I want to do something specifically on video instead of on stream. So like if I'm building a really boring farm, or if I'm getting endless amounts of white concrete and quartz.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so done with white concrete and quartz. I never want to see them again. But but like I'll do that stuff off stream because it takes just hours and hours, and nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, I mean, your last hardcore one was transforming the end in hardcore Minecraft episode 6. So for someone who's had a hardcore world for 3 years, only being on episode 6 is very very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I started episode 1 at like 1600 days. So episode 1 wasn't at the start. It was like, hey, I've been streaming for 2 years now. I think I should be making videos. And so episode 6 is probably in like normal YouTube video terms, is probably like close to episode 20 or something like that. With
A
all
bit
the
more
stuff
than that if it's 3 years.
Yeah, that's probably true. But yeah, my next one that has like the completed build, like with everything all done, and like it's got this really cool little montage in it. I'm so proud of it.
Okay.
I think when is it coming out? Hold on. This weekend actually. The 30th.
Oh, so next. Oh, so it would
Mhm.
have come out for the listeners. It would have come out last Sunday from when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
There we go. So.
Yeah. So my little self promo, stick that in there.
Well, cool. I mean, it's your podcast. I think the entire thing is a self promo, really, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Say whatever you want.
The whole
You
thing
know,
is
I'm more than happy to.
to.
Yeah, because But yeah, with the hardcore world, because obviously you've had it for as long as you've been making content. So with the hardcore world, was it I've started making content, let's start hardcore world, or was you already doing the hardcore world and then start content? I'm not saying you started content based on hardcore world, but just yeah.
Well, I did. I did though.
Well, you started content based on the hardcore world.
Yeah, pretty much. I had the hardcore world about 3 or 4 months before I ever started streaming. Because I was super into watching Philza, and so I was like, I'm gonna make a hardcore world too, and be just like Philza. And my first 2 went horribly, and I died so quickly. And then the third one, I actually lived for a while, and then when I went to start like a big build, I was like, you know what, I want to document this because I'm so proud of it, and I want to like turn it into something beyond just me playing Minecraft. And so I did my first ever few streams that were horribly balanced. They like the music was so incredibly loud, and I was so quiet because it was midnight and my dad was asleep, and I was like, I don't want to wake him up. So,
yeah, that's fair.
So I started doing everything because I wanted to like keep the hardcore world somewhere, like and have it be something beyond just enjoying Minecraft.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And then have you in this hardcore world then? So this is your if I heard you correctly, this is your 4th one?
Third attempt.
Third attempt. Oh, sorry, I thought you said on the third attempt you. Third attempt you want to start documenting it. Sorry, yes, of course. This is your third attempt. Have you had any near-death experiences?
I've had 2. Well, technically, yeah, 3. 2 was on stream. The first one was a big. I was going through a mine shaft. I had like full enchanted diamond armor. I was getting last materials, and I ran into this cave that was full of mobs, and I was playing on my laptop at the time, and I turned it to show my dad, and I was like, dude, look at all these mobs. And I started running through it, and then they all started attacking me because I don't know what I thought was gonna happen. But I like caught on fire and was getting shot and stuff, and I finally got out. I think I escaped with like 3 hearts. That was and I didn't have a totem at the time, so I was like freaking out. And then the next one was scarily recent. In a mega build I was working on. So in a hardcore world, there's this mechanic where creepers can spot you from above and then start exploding while they're falling. So they basically land and detonate. It's awful.
Yeah, when I started my hardcore world, I was told a few rules, and the ones I remember the most are. Treat everything like it can kill you, and don't go into a ravine.
Yep, never go into ravines. Stay out of ravines, forehead. So, basically, what had happened, I was building this giant door, and I got tired of building with scaffolding, so I started building with blocks, and I forgot to put torches, and I basically made a ravine for myself to die in. And a creeper fell from the sky, and I broke my first totem, and then I abandoned the build because I was so scared. And I was like, I give up. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done.
So you use totems?
Yeah, I do. I'm too much of a baby to not use totems. I'm so scared.
I mean, I use.
I'm attached to this world. Yeah.
Well, when you play it for so long and you become so like you said attached to it, that's when you don't.
This my baby, man.
Yeah, because the thing is, with hardcore worlds, like once you're gone, you're gone. Like you can't even be like, oh yeah, like I'll just have it as like a little building place. Like yeah, I mean you can still spectate in there, but I mean essentially the whole like being able to build thing is gone.
Yeah, it's so permanent, and I'm like, nope. I will have my totems. Thank you. I have I have 2 in my inventory at all times. I have like 12 in my ender chest. I keep totems everywhere. I do not trust myself. And then the second time I broke a totem was I was fighting the dragon for my end build. I was killing dragons galore. I was killing, I think it was 18 in total to get all the portals unlocked.
Oh, fun.
And for some stupid reason, I think I was tired, or I was just thinking dumb. I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just fly into the dragon and hit it with my sword. Like a moron. And
Big brain Binnish.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. But I got launched and I broke a totem and I freaked out. It's like, never again. It was terrifying. So, but as often as I keep totems like in my offhand and on me, I've only ever broken 2. And in 3, you know what? I'll take that for 3 years. Like, a pretty good percentage, I'll take it.
Do you, genuine question, and you can be honest with this, because you can still enjoy the hardcore world but feel this way. Okay. Do you think having a totem ruins the experience?
No, I don't think so. I think
because I use totems as well, by the way. So this isn't me trying to like trick you into and be like, oh, like boo, use totems. Like I just know, like for instance, Phil has never come out and said it ruins the experience, but like he, as far as I'm aware, doesn't use totems because he just doesn't want to. That's completely fine. I know a few other people don't use totems, but I know like yourself, I know Nukri, they use totems. I use totems. So it's not me saying like totem user. It's more like me just asking your opinions on it.
Yeah. I think it's just very different. It's just different play styles. Like I think it is very impressive when people who play totemless do the mega build do the same mega builds that somebody who plays with totems does. I think it's still incredibly impressive and like get huge props for that. But like I see this all the time. There is no way to cheat in Minecraft. The only way to cheat in Minecraft is to lie. If you say you didn't use Lightmatica when you actually used it, or if you say you didn't use commands when you actually did, that's how you can cheat. Like, Minecraft is the ultimate sandbox game. You can play however you want. That's what makes it good.
Totems are in the game for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Like even if totems were a modded thing, like I still 100% respect anybody who uses them. Like Minecraft, like it's different. I think Minecraft is very different than games like maybe Valorant or something. Like Minecraft is a game that is purely made to be enjoyed. And if you enjoy it without playing totems, good for you. If you enjoy it playing with totems, great, do it. Who cares? And you know, I think whatever makes the game more enjoyable for you as a player is correct, basically. And for me, like, I think playing with totems makes it more comfortable for me playing, because breaking a totem is such a huge deal to me. Like when I'm playing with totems, it's not like if I die, I'll be fine. Like breaking a totem is the most like adrenaline inducing thing ever. Like, oh my god, I was on the verge of death. Oh, you know,
yeah.
Like it's not, for me, it's not like a cop out or whatever, you know, in air quotes, cop out, you know? So like breaking a totem for me is a huge event. So it's, for me, it doesn't feel like I'm like, it feels more like kind of like a safety net almost. But if you're tightrope walking and you fall on the safety net, you're still freaking out, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, so yeah.
I saw Garen.
I think it's very much like, I think it's personal preference. I think if you dog on somebody who uses a totem, that's cringe, you know? Like if they want to play with a totem, let them play with a totem. It doesn't matter.
It's each their own,
you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I had it as well, even with a totem. I was in the and never. And it was my first ever time. Like, so I think it was my fourth hardcore world. My first three. I all of this on stream, by the way. I died in the first three.
Oh no.
And then the fourth one, I didn't die, but I was like, yeah, I don't like this. I'm gonna start one more on a new stream. And then I haven't played the hardcore world in a while, because I essentially maxed out all my gear, maxed out everything before even building a base, and I just kind of got bored of it. Because building isn't my thing. Like, I enjoy building. I'm in MPC's SMP, which is just like a little SMP for the friends, and like I built like a really pretty house.
Yeah.
But like building isn't really my thing per se. So in this hardcore world, I'm in Nether, right, and I'm like looting, and then I go into a bastion, and I get trapped in a corner by like the piglin brute and the thing, and I have a totem. My totem pops, right, and I have my shield, and it's slowly breaking, and then I pause the game, and I'm like, oh my god, chat. And it's like the scariest, like I actually have it, like somebody clipped it, one of my mods clipped it, Pepper, I believe clipped it, and it's like, it's like with the totem, even with the totem, I still nearly died. Like once my totem popped, I was still want to bring it death, and I was so lucky to get away from it. But it was the scariest, like with the whole safety net thing, even though I'd popped a totem, I was still in a very scary, crappy situation kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So. And like people still die after popping totems all the time.
I nearly
like
did, yeah.
Yeah, like totems are not they're not, you know, your saving grace. They're not gonna like immediately keep you from death. Like it's just a little boost, you know. It's almost like just splashing a potion, but like it does it automatically, you know. Like it doesn't solve every problem that you have in a hardcore world. So like if you were in a hardcore world and you had a mod that gave you like, I don't know, impossible, like a warden did 1 heart. Like if you had the best armor possible, like nothing could hurt you, then I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of a hardcore world. But if that's how you want to play, that's how you want to play. But like a totem doesn't make you invincible, you know? Does it make sense?
I mean, it's like have you ever played any Call of Duties, or do you know anything about Call Call of Duty?
No.
Okay, so there's this perk called like Second Wind, or like, you know what, no, using the perk is a bad example. On Call of Duty Zombies, like you can get I can't remember the name of the perk, but you can get something where essentially once you get downed, you can revive yourself. Once you get downed, it's game over, right? Like if you're playing solos, once you get downed, you're out. No one can revive you, it's game. However, like if you're playing solos, you can get a perk where it's essentially, you know, gives you that second chance, but it lets you revive yourself, and it's like that's what a totem does essentially. Once you're downed, it essentially revives you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, you go.
It does. It's not the end all be all, you know, life saving thing. There are plenty of other ways to keep yourself alive, and there are plenty of other ways that you can die. So like, I think it's pretty. I honestly don't think it affects gameplay really all that much. Like, I think if you're a good hardcore player, you won't be popping totems, you know. So like it doesn't matter if you have a totem or not, because you shouldn't be popping. You know what I mean? Like.
yeah, exactly. Essentially, you should just be good at the game. Just get better. No?
Yeah, just get good. Just
get good.
Just be good, nerd.
with that being said, then, what is your favorite build on the hardcore world?
Oh man.
You know what, I'll give you like if you can't choose specifically one, I'll give you like a free what would be the right wording here? Like a free I guess bases, not bases. You know, you can pick three if you need to pick three. Okay. There you go. That's easy.
I think my favorite right now is definitely the end build, just because that's the one I'm the most proud of right now. Like I just finished it, and like I'm in love with this build. It's the build that has the most lore in it for me. It's one like that, like I really, really took my time to make sure I had it how I wanted, and like I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
I think I very much like all of my builds, but I think my favorite, because it's like, you know, the freshest on my mind, and just the one I've been seeing the most recently. I think my end build is definitely my favorite.
And then is there like any, like, I'm imagining the end build didn't exist. Is there any close? Or any other close ones?
I think the next would probably be it's a tough like competition between my monument and the library. So the monument is my current base, where like my village, my farm stuff are. It's essentially like a really big prismarine white concrete desert temple. It's huge. I'd like that one, but I also don't really consider it to be a mega build.
Well, it doesn't have to be a mega build. Like you could literally place a dirt block and be like, yes, perfection.
Yeah,
like I'm not like, it's not like a question of like what is your favorite mega build. It's just what is your favorite thing you've done build wise. Like for instance, I've never finished it, but even if I'd built a house, like I filled in like this, I found this like mountain that caves in. It's like goes into the ground and it's like caved around. It's so great. And I filled it with like deep dark. I just filled it with deep dark on the surface, and I thought it just looked really really cool. And it's like one of my favorite things I would have done on that hardcore world. For one, like even like this really pretty house I built, I still thought doing that was way cooler. But like it doesn't have to be like a crazy build. It can just be something you're like, yeah, this is like the library sounds really really cool. Like
honestly, I probably have to say the library. Then I have so many issues with it. It's a giant mushroom. It's over 100 blocks tall. And then on the inside, it's bookshelves from the top of the mushroom down to what used to be bedrock. So like, I don't know, Euro, I guess. The like where it turns to deep slate now, basically.
Yeah, where it used to be bedrock, just 0. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And I have so many issues with it because I don't like the shape of it, and like I missed so many details and stuff. But it's just so pretty. Like I like it so much.
It's still so cool, you know.
It's just so cool. Like there's a lot of stuff that I would want to, like, if I were to rebuild it, I would do it in a very very different way. But I think that's probably the second best one up there.
Yeah. See, it doesn't have to be like a perfect build. It can just be something you're like, yeah, I like this, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely the funnest to like show off. Like I've gotten raids in the past where like it's like over 100 people, and
library,
I'm like, oh, I gotta show off the world. Yeah, I go to the library and I'm like, this is the most impressive looking thing I've built. Be amazed, you know.
Get to the
and
library.
I go off and do my thing, you know. Yeah.
Honestly, that's fair enough. Yeah. I guess moving away from one survival thing then, a solo survival world, into a survival multiplayer, aka SMP.
Yes.
See, that transition was really cool, wasn't it? Like that's it.
Yeah, it was great.
So
Very cool.
looking through your YouTube, this one we don't need to touch on too much if you don't want, because obviously the main one's going to be the one that's coming up. I saw that you played in an Arcadia SMP. You uploaded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6 episodes. Well, 5.5 was 2 minutes 52 seconds, and episode 6 was only 3 minutes 47 compared to the 10 odd minute episodes beforehand. So what was that?
So Arcadia was an SMP I was on kind of when I was starting getting more into YouTube things. So I'd streamed for a long time before I actually started making videos. So it was the first content creator SMP that I was on. And I super loved the community. The reason I stopped making videos was because I got super sick. That was when my my disability started being a disability.
Which we'll get into talking. We will talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get there.
It'll probably be like one of the last things we talk about, just because to kind of wait, if that's all right.
We'll get there later. Yeah.
Yeah, eventually.
So I had done like this really big like deep slate, warden. I was the warden king, that was my brand, right? So I had done this big thing, and basically what my last video was, it was like this lore thing that like it was really, can I swear?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. So it was a pretty like half-assed attempt at this big plan that I had, and my energy levels were like at an all-time low, and I was like, all right, everybody just get on the server and we're gonna do this thing. And I edited it, I put it out, and I just like slept for months. Like
I mean, you tried though, like considering once again we are gonna talk about it, but considering like what I know about it, like you did good to try.
Yeah, it wasn't what I like wanted it to be, but I was still very proud of it. Like, it was a good attempt. It was a good attempt.
So who was in this? Was this because if you remember,
it was it was a bunch of people. It was Beanbon, Asterix, somebody named Sylphs, who else was on it? I think I put them in like the description of the videos.
So were you? Sorry, I think you may have said this. I was just clarifying. So were you the owner, co-owner, or were you just in it?
I was just a member, yeah.
Oh, okay, because when you were saying about like doing this whole thing, it led me to believe that you were the owner for a second.
Oh yeah, no. No, I was just a member. I just got very excited about like a mega build thing. I was like, yes, I will be the cool one.
and then like sadly get a bit too tired for it.
Yeah. So it was Sylphs, Gwendolyn, Asterix, Huskerman, the Natter, Scuba, Silver, Sylphs, and Today Tooth. And I'm pretty sure all of those people are still members of it. They have recently started up. Yeah, they've recently started up a season 2. Or not recently, I guess it was 5-6 months ago. But I ended up leaving after Final Stand, which was kind of like a One Life. Yeah. It was sort of like a One Life type series, like one of those like you only have so many lives, this type of thing. And it ended poorly. And then at the start of season 2, there was some issues, and I was like, I just can't deal. I'm out. And so I ended up leaving. I'm still good friends with most of the people. Like it wasn't like some big controversial exit. I'm just like, this just isn't what I need anymore. I feel like I need to turn in a different direction type thing. So we parted ways.
And then after the break, that's when
Channel 64!
Oh my god, wait, that was actually like that wasn't planned, by the way. That was like perfect timing. That was better timing than my MCC Rising application. And we planned that. Huh? Okay, so I'll let you know what I know about Channel 64 SMP. Okay. Like I said, I did the rough research of it, but I purposely didn't do loads because I wanted to kind of like hear it first from you, because I like doing it on the podcast. It's fun for me rather than like knowing everything. As far as I'm aware, and once again, like I said in the intro, fact check me if I say anything wrong here. It's a television vibe SMP, and you're going into your 3rd season. And as well as this, your entire MCC Rising 2 application team, which we'll talk about MCC Rising 2 after this, are in Channel 64 SMP. Did I get any of that wrong?
Yes. A TV thing? I think that's still true. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, but I mean, more in depth then, what is like your whole thing of it? What is the SMP in itself? Just because obviously I can be like television vibe, but that doesn't really explain anything at all, does it? So
so we're a lore based SMP. So basically we, instead of doing more let's play type things, which some of us kind of do, but it's more focused around kind of storytelling and creative kind of like immersive stories and the lore, you know. So like we have a couple members who do full cinematic episodes.
oh geez, okay.
Justix. He does, his episodes are movies. They're literal movies. It is a crime that he only has 600 subs. Like he puts in like full Marvel level production into his videos, and they're killer. And Loki, who's on the MCC team, he did his finale for season 2 recently, and that thing was like, dude, it made most of us cry. Like it's just so like well written, and like he spent months working on it, and like thousands of replay shots, and just so much work, and it turned out incredible. But we do like a lot of storytelling, like collaboration type things. Most of us have like our own kind of arc that we're following, and then there's some kind of an overarching SMP like lore type thing that everybody's stories kind of weave into. Last season there was a thing called the Administration. It was called the Federation. Wrong server.
Oh no.
Yeah. We're not accusing me, I promise. But it was basically, it was really cool because it was sort of like a commentary on content creators, especially small content creators, feeling the need to have to like appease the algorithm. So the Administration was essentially like the YouTube gods and the algorithm. And so kind of everybody, yeah, it was awesome. And like they had clones with this mod called Taterzins that basically adds in like NPCs to the game that you can like customize and whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, so there was like clones of everybody wandering around, and quantum batteries and fancy robots and drones in the sky. Like it was epic.
Mental.
Yeah, so we've only recently started the 3rd season about a month ago, so there isn't really like an overarching lore thing for the season just yet. Like we're still trying to figure out how to weave everything of everybody's stories together. It's been super cool because I think there's hold on, I gotta catch my breath.
Yes, please breathe. I'm breathing between. Yeah.
I talk too fast. Oh no. But like it's very interesting to collaborate with these people who also put so much like thought and time and precision into creating these videos. Like when you make kind of just like a normal let's play video, like obviously there is skill and technical, you know, abilities to it, but to also like weave your story into it. And like there are times where we spend just hours hunting for the perfect song, and we'll sit in VC and replay the same 4-second clip over and over and over again to try and get it exactly how we want it. And you know, like getting on and building things together and getting the perfect replay shots and stuff like that. It's been incredibly nice to like just be friends with people that have such like a high standard for production. It's incredibly like refreshing.
You know, one thing that you didn't cover that entire story, or that entire thing.
What did I miss?
The concept. What is the concept of obviously I know it, like I've done the research, but I'd much rather you kind of say it in like, I mean, your terms of what the actual concept of Channel 64 SMP is.
It's a lore-based SMP.
Yeah, no, but you said that it's lore-based, but like, what's the lore?
There is, so it depends on each player. So like each player has their own story.
Then, like, what is your story? There we go.
For me, I don't want to do too much.
Okay, what was your story in season 2?
I wasn't in season 2.
What was your story in? 3. Oh wait, I thought season 3 has already begun. Oh, I thought season 3 was being prepped.
No, season 3. I'm a new addition. I'm only in season 3.
How long has season 3 been around for?
About a month, not too long.
Oh, so you can't even leak it. Okay, what's has Loki been in all seasons?
Yes, he has.
Okay,
has he been in season 1? I think he was.
Okay, so what was Loki season 2 lore? Like, what was that lore then? There we
go. Loki season 2 lore was it's how do I put it into like a short word? I will just end up rambling for so long about it. it was basically, so Loki has been making content for 15 years. He started doing podcasts about the DDR with his friends, and he still is on that podcast with them.
Oh, cool.
And so his whole season was basically feeling like kind of expressing the feeling of like
loneliness.
No, sort of like
stress.
Feeling like looked down upon by the algorithm, like feeling unlucky and like he deserves more.
Yeah, for me, and not even an act. That's a joke. Inside MC in a world where it gets 50,000 views, the perfect world.
Right? Oh man. But like just him, like the whole like his finale was a really good summary of it. His like big quest was to get the head of Tango, because he had done a video in the past where he like played on his world with Tango Tech, and like showed off his world and stuff. And so his whole quest was to go back through his survival, time and space travel, breaking through the time space continuum, whatever. Is really epic. But to get the head of Tango and basically like break into Hermitcraft so that he could, be in the big leagues and be a big content creator like he deserves. And so it was basically this sort of statement of like, I've been working so hard for so long, I want to get the recognition that I deserve, and I want to get
the benefits.
Yeah. Like he has felt so like unrecognized by the internet for so long, and so his thing was, but sort of the resolution was, I don't need to be on Hermitcraft because I have the people that I want to play Minecraft with now. He basically went back to, his past self on his solo survival world, and was like, give me the head, Tango. And he was like, well, I want to be able to play with my friends, and it sounds like you have that group now. And like this sort of resolution that I don't need to get what I deserve because I have what I want, if that makes sense. At least that's kind of how I see it. I'm sure he probably has something more like specific or in depth about it, but that's kind of how I view it as.
And you
so that was.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, carry on, my bad.
That was his arc, at least. And then like playing into the administration as the YouTube algorithm, and then everybody else had sort of their arc relating to the administration, but it was sort of different, each in their own way.
Yeah. I mean, how I was going to narrow it down was like when I was kind of saying, and you could correct me if I'm wrong here, was it's like Channel 64 SMP, as the name kind of gives the idea of, it's just a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
That's when I mentioned about the whole like, what would you think is done? And so that's like what I meant. Like, am I correct in saying that? Like, it's just a TV show?
Yeah. Essentially, like, I think it's, yeah, pretty much. Like, I think it's a little more specific in the sense that we...
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, just like very basic would be like...
Yeah, in basic terms, it's a TV. It's a Minecraft TV.
which you can't say a lot, because obviously SMPs, they're roleplay and stuff like that, but like a lot of SMPs you can't turn around and be like, yeah, they're roleplay, but they're TV show. Like Channel 64 is very much TV vibes with the whole like characters, the administration, the arcs, all that kind of stuff, like it gives me that kind of vibe, and I think that's really cool. Linking to Loki, and I guess it's really cool actually because Loki's quite like relatable in the sense of like with the whole podcast thing. Obviously, like InsideMC, it doesn't get a lot of views, doesn't do too well, despite like having really cool guests on like yourself, which to me is completely fine. I don't mind it, and the way I always see it is like, I took a big 7-month break. The podcast was doing amazing. I was getting like 1,500 views every single podcast was getting over 500 views on YouTube, between 200 to 500 on Spotify. And then I took this big 7-month break when I started a new job that was like nights. And the thing is, had I have not taken that break, the podcast could be doing amazing, but then would I have you on the podcast? Would I have the guests I've had on? I was a Bedrock content creator before I took that big break. I was Bedrock, and even then I was getting bored and sad about Bedrock Edition. I took the big break. I came back. I became a Java content creator. Since April, I have uploaded a podcast every single day. Now I've started uploading a podcast every single week. I've now started uploading 2 podcasts every single week, and I'm in the Java community rather than the Bedrock community. And it's like, I used to make command block tutorials back in the day, and they used to give me a crap ton of money. They used to get me a crap ton of views, and it's honest. But I stopped doing them because I didn't enjoy doing it. And if I'd carried on making command block tutorials, I could have been this massive creator. But would the podcast exist? Would I have like one of my good mates, Potato Pie 25, is American. I've been friends with him for like 3 years. We've met up in person. We're meeting up in person again at Most Likely at one point. And it's like, I would never have met him, and I'd class him as like a really, really good friend. The podcast means I would have probably never interacted with you like I am now. So it's like linking in with Loki's whole lore, like, is very, very relatable. Of like, I'd love to have more views and I'd love to have more money, but then what would I rather? And I mean, I work. I have a job. I have in quotation marks a 9 to 5. I work Monday to Friday now, which is really, really good. So I'm earning income elsewhere. So I can still do this as a passion project, and it was worth this in quotation marks sacrifice kind of thing. So.
Yeah, like the sort of like I don't need to like yes I could be on Hermitcraft, but then I wouldn't have met all the people that I know now and that I love now. So like
I could have been
it
on
was just a very
Hermitcraft.
sweet.
I wouldn't be in MCC Rising 2 with the Orange Ocelots.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
so.
yeah, it was very sweet. Like, it made most of us cry. We were like all in VC watching the premiere together. Like, oh, Loki, I'm sorry. Like, it was very sweet. We loved it.
I mean, it sounds very, very cool. I have to give it a watch. I have to catch up on it. It sounds really, really cool. Is there anything else that you have to talk about Channel 64 SMP? Anything that we haven't touched on? I mean, obviously you don't want to leak too much about yourself because you've only been there for a month. But is there anything you can say?
I can kind of say what my story is. Oh, no, I don't know how to, because I don't know how to say it without ending up leaking everything. So I probably shouldn't.
I mean, yeah. Okay. A question then. A good question, and this is without leaking stuff, hopefully. How did you get into Channel 64 SMP?
So through, what is it called? The MC Collab Station.
What is that?
Arrington. It's run by, MC Collab Station, it's run by Iandus, Jambot, Spiderheart, and Amelia. It's run by a bunch of different people. It's a really, really big, Discord server it's the ultimate like Minecraft content creator resource center, basically.
Okay.
So like everybody shares their videos, their video ideas. They were like exchanging advice.
That's cool.
People just sharing their milestones and like their cool videos and things like that. And ideas that they don't have anything to do with, but somebody else might use this idea somewhere. So I think Arrington found Arcadia through MC Collab Station and breath.
just breathe
Keep talking without breathing.
Remember what we talked about this other podcast? You can take little breaks, Joe.
I think Arrington found me through MC Collab, or found Arcadia through MC Collab Station, and then joined our server there, and then reached out to I don't know if it was just me or if it was a few other people. But on Channel 64, there's this kind of intense like vetting process for new people. Somebody will suggest somebody, and then they have a vote whether they want to like continue, try and invite them, and then people will get into like VC and review their videos. Like it's so picky and administrative, just trying to make sure that like we find people who fit really well and like people can connect with easily and sort of has the production level that we kind of look for. So like if somebody suggests somebody and their videos don't have a single replay shot, the chances are they will be like, nah, they don't use replay, mostly kidding, but so I think Arrington found me through MC Collab Station and through Arcadia. And then we went in. It was the first SMP I've ever been on that had paperwork.
Oh, okay.
It was.
You had to sign a bunch of stuff?
A little bit of stuff. Basically, he went through like this big administration kind of list, like, these are our expectations, basic server rules, but also like,
what, fair play though. That's how you do a good SMP, is making sure that everyone's actually dedicated towards it.
Yeah, genuinely. And like he has a whole thing for, if you can't, if you need to take a break, if like your internet goes down for like a month at a time, or if you start a new job, whatever, then he has a specific role for if you can't currently make content or like are currently on a break. And like just this a massive like in-depth document about like how we're gonna deal with like interpersonal situations. This is how we handle this, and going over server mods and all that kind of stuff. And then you just find your name at the bottom. So it's not a lot of paperwork, but I consider it paperwork. But
I get that. It's like kind of signing on. Which, I'm not sure if that's normal for an SA, because I've never really been in a big one.
Yeah, it's really not that. I don't think it's that normal, at least. But I really think it should be the norm, especially for content, because like, yes, we are friends, but at the same time, this is something that a lot of us want to make a business. Like we like we enjoy each other's company, we spend a lot of time together, but we also want to create something like long lasting and functional. And so like, you know, if there was like a dispute between me and, you know, some other person on the SMP, then, you know, maybe that gets dealt with in DMs on a normal SMP, and maybe, you know, maybe you and that person, you know, stop being friends, whatever, maybe it creates like a rift. But on Channel 64 there is a process, you know, like it's like HR, you know. And I think that's very important when we're trying to make such like high level produce type things, because they're in that there's sort of like an expectation of like, okay, we expect there to be some sort of content once a month, whether it be a short, a reel, a live stream, a video, something. And then like there's sort of a loose like playtime expectation, like if you're on the server to play survival, go play survival. We are collaborating with each other, we're working on things together, this is what we're here for. And if you don't want to do that, you know, go play your survivor world. And things like that, like just
That's
like
cool.
setting that expectation of professionalism and like businessy type model, I think is incredibly important.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of good SMPs, and Channel 64 SMP sounds like it's for dedicated content creators only. How many people are in Channel 64 SMP?
So we have regular cast members, and I think that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, there's 16 of us who are cast members or the content creators. We're the ones videos. But then we also have supporting cast, and they are players that basically are there kind of like fill out the world. And they are players who they come on and play with us, but they're not making videos. So they, you know, they start a little bit after us when the season starts, so that like the content creators can get, you know, their videos all together and have the content creators work together, and then they have like a little area, and we are all kind of playing together and working together and getting materials for each other, and we set up shops and stuff. But they're just people who aren't making videos. So in total there are how many? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, 22. There are 22 of us in total.
Fair enough. That sounds like Channel 64 speeds, right? Not really like,
Yeah,
I mean, I'd love to be in an SMP. I'm just not really sure if I'd be able to do all the like, I guess mainly because of the podcast. Obviously, I mean, like once I'm done recording this, I ran a bit behind on midweek MC. And normally I have like both the podcasts for the week come in edited, and I have the Bumpy Jake one edited, but I don't have midweek MC edited. So I essentially need to like, once this is done, stay up and get that done, and then wake up for work tomorrow. I'm starting work at 8 a.m. So I'm going to stay up now, do this, then go to bed whenever I go to bed. And it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, but, it gets embarrassing.
So it's like, I'm not sure if I'd be able to do like the whole editing aspect of things. Like I'd be able to stream it, because there's another SMP that I've joined, which I'm able to stream. I just wouldn't be able to do the whole like editing and recording kind of thing, which is sad, but yeah.
Yeah, I give a huge prop to like pretty much everybody on the SMP. Half of those people are married and have children, and they play more than I do. Like,
yeah, but
they have day jobs. They like and have full on families, and they are online more than I am. And I'm
you
like,
form that bond though, didn't you, with your partner? Like, it's so I mean, like I have a girlfriend, for example. Oh, big flex. Like essentially, like every Monday and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. BST, I'm recording a podcast for an hour or so. Like, she stays at my house, for example, or anything like that. It's a case of like, you can stay, but I'm doing this, and she's like, yeah, that's fine. And then every single night, she knows that I'm dedicated to. I go to work, I come home. I mean, for instance, if she sometimes varies between like morning and evening. For example, like say she's working a morning shift, she'll finish early, so she'll finish around about the same time I am one day. We'll come home, I'll talk to her a little bit. I'm like, okay, yeah, like it's 4 p.m. I now need to edit the podcast for the next like five hours, because the podcast takes, because I edit like every single bit, I have to re-listen to the 2-hour-long podcast, for example. Like right now we've been recording for an hour and 16, right? So that's already an hour 16. I have to listen back. I then have to stop it. So like every single minute edited takes about 10 minutes, give or take, maybe. Yeah. Depending on how quick I do it. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not, just depending on how I feel on it. But we've established that bond of like, that's fine, you know, like, because she knows that, like, for instance, if I can take the podcast full time, which I'd love to, then I can then dedicate when I'm meant to be, in quotation marks, working a real job on editing the podcast, and then I'll have the nights for that kind of thing. So that's big props to them bits. It doesn't take away from that, of course. I'm just saying it's nice that like they've been able to establish that bond with their partner to be able to do that. Insane.
Like, I can't even imagine the math, you know, the like, okay, I need to spend this much time and this much time. Like there have been times where Arrington's in BC with all of us, and like his kids will come up and he'll be like playing Minecraft with them on their Switch, and he's like, oh yeah, there's the cat over there. It's really, really sweet. It's so nice. Like yeah, the balance that they have, like, man, and envious.
I'm actually buying, like, no joke. Tomorrow I'm gonna get a diary, like an actual what's it called, like a date diary, just so I can. Because because right now, like, I've got, so, like, for instance, like, my parents want to go on holiday, and that's fine, but then they're also gonna, like, leave the dog for me to look after. But it's just like, yeah, I'm happy to look after the dog, but then there's some days where, like, essentially, like,
I ain't got time.
Well, no, I can look after the dog, but for instance, there's days that, for like one Saturday I'll spend editing the podcast, and another Saturday I'll go out with my girlfriend. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm happy to do it, but preferably on a day where I'm editing the podcast, because then I'll be home with the dog, kind of thing. So it's like, it's all about, right, so I need to write everything down, because I'm also, like, helping people with videos and, like, planning to do stuff with people. I'm like, I can't keep track of it all. For instance, I'm in a tournament, and I'm getting a tattoo next Sunday from when this podcast has been recorded, so it would have been last Sunday from when the podcast went out. And it's like, and so I'm going to get a tattoo, which is going to take about 6 hours, because it's like a full-on one. Okay, I've booked the entire day, so it's like, okay, that's 6 hours lost of editing the podcast, and it's just, yeah, I just need to write everything down, essentially. So, you know, it is hard. Like, I couldn't imagine with a full-time family, but hopefully by the time, like, when I have a full-time family, the podcast is full-time for me as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Big props. Transitioning from being friends with people in Channel 64 SMP, with the amount of people that are in that SMP, 4 of you combined together to make the Orange Ocelots for MCC Rising 2. But you've only been in the SMP for a month. So how did that team come to be?
So okay, it's very funny. So basically, I had been I'd gone through, orientation, basically. I got fully integrated into the server. I had been in the Discord for maybe a few months, because I had been invited before, but only really started getting into it being like a week or two before one of the other members, Leonie, she posted the tweet from MCC being like, hey, is anybody interested in this? And my message was literally, please, somebody team with me, please. I was like, let me do this. Because the last time that they did Rising, I didn't have anybody to team with, so I couldn't apply. No. I was so sad. So I was like, please, let me do this. And so they were like, oh yeah, I'm down. And I'm like, please. And so we got together. I wrote out a script for everybody, and it was kind of a trash script, but then I got in VC with Pete Twerp. And I think that was like the second, maybe third time I had ever spoken with them. Oh, and cool. We're like breaking down like how we're gonna put together this video, making like a timeline, putting everything together, and yeah, it was epic.
Was it a first come first serve basis then of who got onto the team?
I think so. Yeah, there also wasn't a lot of people who were super interested. Most of them didn't really know what MCC was really. Like they were like, okay, good.
Really helped your chances, huh?
Yeah. Oh man. So we had a couple of people who were like, yeah, I'd be interested, but I don't really like competitive Minecraft, or I don't want to stream, so a couple of people were like, not for me. Leonie, she wanted to be in as well, but she so she's in South Africa, and they're have lots and lots of load shedding, which like scheduled power outages.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah. So she wasn't confident that she would be able to be live for the event at all. So so she had to step away from it. But so we were basically like, you want in? Is this the team? Okay, sounds great. It's very much kind of like circumstantial, not like I didn't go DMing like, so I want specifically Arrington, specifically Loki, I want no one else, but yeah, it was like, can you do it? Maybe please we can have a team. And I'm like, yeah, sure.
And then the actual Rising application itself, it was very, very Channel 64 SMP-esque, wasn't it? So,
very much, yeah.
So you said you were writing a script. So did your script get used, or did it get altered, or did it just spin?
I think we crashed it completely.
Oh crap! Okay.
Because it was very basic. It was very much like, my name is Binnish and I do this. It was pretty basic. And so when I got into VC with Peep, I was like, they were like, what kind of vibe do you want? And I'm like, do you know Kitchen Gun?
Do you know what?
Kitchen gun. Sparkles like you know the kitchen gun. You know kitchen gun.
No, I don't think I do. I'm not sure if I do. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, it's a really it's a joke ad. It's a joke commercial, and it's a gun, and you shoot it at like the toilet or the kitchen sink, and boom, it's clean. And it's this really like, it's very weird. It's a very old
Goofy,
meme.
yeah.
Yeah, and people's like, okay, got it, and then found this Atari commercial. It was for Atari Jaguar 64, I think it was. And it's a very niche ad that really not a lot of people have seen. And basically we tried to recreate it like shot for shot for like the starting bit, but with a Minecraft team instead of a 64-bit Atari Jaguar.
And that was the successful application that you ended up going with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was.
And then you guys had fun recording it, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was so much fun. Like, we got everybody all in VC together, and like we had a little, we got everybody in the set, and we're like filming everything together. And like I spent I think it was like 16 hours total on working on the edit, and most of that was spent in VC, like sharing my screen, being like, okay,
you were the editor?
Is that good? How about two for I put everything together.
That's cool.
I was like, I'll move this 2 frames to the left. How is that? Like reviewing everything over and over.
It was such a fun application, like, because I hadn't seen your one in the build up, so I was actually stream watching. I opened it, I was like, yeah, I see why. Yeah, this is good. This is original. This stands out. Like, my big thing was like, if I was part of Knott's crew, I would my personal preference would I'd like just look for applications that stood out. Not saying that's how Knott's crew did it. Obviously, they know better. They run the event.
Yeah.
I'm more just saying like that's how I would have done it essentially. So
it was very interesting. We were like a sleeper application. Like, when we got accepted, our video had less than 300 views. Nobody had reacted to us. Nobody had, put us in their compilations. Nobody knew about us. Like, we were completely unexpected. And then we get accepted, and like they put out the announcement tweet, and it pops up to like 5,000 views in like a couple of hours, and we're like, why?
Wait, I'm actually glad you said that, because it's a question I have now that you've said that. I can ask it. I wasn't actually going to ask this, as I thought of it. Did like seeing that no one had reacted to it, seeing that it had not got many views, like, did that make you guys overthink? Or did you not, like, because obviously you can, like, like with my one, it didn't get loads of views, but I didn't overthink it. I'm just curious, did you look at it and be like, oh, no one's reacted, no one's seen it, like, does this really? Because obviously you apply in it, so they see every single application because you apply for a form. But did seeing like nobody really take any notice, did that make you think, or did you just be like, yeah, no, it don't really matter?
A little bit, yes. After we like submitted everything, we spent a lot of time just like scrolling through other people's applications. We were like being incredibly judgmental. We were very harsh, but we were like, oh, we're so much better than that. Like trying to make ourselves like feel better about it. We're like, yeah, we're like trying to like feel good about it. We're like trying to, get the morale up, but we very like didn't think we were gonna get it. I don't think and especially by the time that we had got reached out to, I think like all of us had given up. We were just like, if they haven't talked to us yet, they probably wouldn't say anything. Sure, we probably didn't get it. We were like being very hard on ourselves, and then we got the email. Arrington got the email and like sent it to all of us, and we were just like freaking out, like, how did this happen?
Because I had somebody on like fresh after MCC Rising, Generis, the Aquaxolotls team, and I asked him like how it was like getting the email and stuff and how he got thing, but he was subbed in because of obviously stuff happening, which we won't get into. But he was on the sub-in team, so he could talk about how it felt, but obviously his one came from being subbed in. So how did it feel? Like, I mean, you kind of touched on it there with the whole like feeling a bit down and stuff, because one thing I've said, and I don't think it's a bad thing to say, I'm not like criticizing them for it, it's just my opinion, is like, I wish they'd announced they were reaching out, because like I put plans on hold, because I wasn't confident I was going to get in, but it's a bit like you, where I was like, yeah, like if I get in, like it'd be cool, because my team and I came up, it was my idea for our application. It was to make a PowerPoint, and very basic, like not amazing, but the idea was, you know, if we get in, it's like, oh crap, we got in by making a PowerPoint, or if we don't get in, it's like, yeah, we didn't get in, but we only made a PowerPoint. But like I put plans on hold. I didn't book anything in for that day. I ended up watching MCC Rising 2 anyways, but like I hadn't made plans, and I was like, a few people asked me to do stuff. I'm like, yeah, I can't let you know because I don't know. And then like when I found out I wasn't in, I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing plans anymore because you couldn't do it. I'm just like, oh crap, like I could have done it. And it's like, because that week that they were reaching out to people, I was still thinking, oh yeah, like, because last time they announced they were reaching out to people, so I was holding off for that tweet, but this entire time you guys knew you were in, and it's like like it kind of is. It was just a bit thingy because I could have been doing this with this person Saturday morning, but I was like, I'm not sure if I can, because if I'm in, I'm gonna be getting prepped for it and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't tell you, but this entire time, like I teams had been contacted, you know, so I missed out on like stuff.
They did do a tweet that was like teams have been, you know, all the teams were, you know, in place, announced, they're all in the Discord. They did do one of those.
That was like 2 days before it was announced. Like, but you guys had found out an entire week before. That's what I mean.
I don't think so. I think they put the tweet out. Did they really? Because I feel like they put that out not too long after we got in. Although to be fair, we were the last ones who got in. So.
Yeah, so maybe it just depends then, because I know like some teams apparently, as far as I'm aware, found out like the Monday, because it was announced on the Wednesday. They knew the Monday prior.
Like their teams were announced Monday?
No, their team was announced on Wednesday, but they knew they were in the Monday beforehand or something like that.
Yeah, that's not what happened at all.
Oh, well, no, but I mean that's what I heard. Maybe it's different for different teams, because obviously you had to do the whole testing thing and stuff as well. So
yeah, so our team was the last team to get we were the very last people who got like tested and like ran through the like going through the games and like, okay, can your computer run this? Can you connect to the server? And then we that was on the 12th, and then we didn't get announced until like what, the 18th or something, or like not the 18th. What day did we get announced?
I don't know. It was on the Wednesday or the Thursday. I know they did it over those 2 days.
Yeah, but it was a few days before the event. But we got reached out to quite a while before that, because we got reached out to, I think it was the 8th, and then like our setup was the 12th, and then we didn't get announced until about a week before the actual event. So we were all in the Discord quite a while, unless it was the sub teams, because the sub teams did join a little bit later, and then there was another sub team who then joined like after, so that they could have an extra sub team, you know. I think it was like sub team C or something like that. But yeah, we were all in the Discord for quite a while before the actual event.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. I mean, it's fine. Like, it's completely fine. I was just kind of saying a thing. But how did it feel? Yeah, no, because as you mentioned, you'd kind of like been on the edge, like, yeah, no, and then you get the email like, you're in MCC Rising. Like, what was it like?
Yeah, it was insane. Like, I was the last to find out because I was asleep, and I woke up that morning, and I went to like turn on my alarm or something, and I opened Discord for a split second, and I see just this string of like all caps, get in here, you know. I think my exact response was spam letter, and then welcome to G clipboard. Like, spamming so hard that I just started like hitting commands. I was freaking out, and then like I was like scream crying with my dad, who was just as excited as I was. Like,
that's so sweet, Daddy. Like, it's nice that Dad supports you so much as well.
Yeah, it was his birthday present. Me playing at MCC was his birthday present, because it was the actual event happened on his birthday. So his birthday present was watching me on the TV and like having pizza. It was really sweet.
Oh my god, that's so sweet. Oh,
I know. It was so nice.
Oh, that's lovely. And then and then actual MCC Rising to itself, we won't get into talking about it too much. Otherwise, this podcast is going to go on forever. But what was the whole experience like?
It was pretty good. Like, there were a few like issues that we ended up having with it, but like all in all, everyone was incredibly sweet, like incredibly helpful. Everybody was just so excited that we were all like together. Like, it felt very much like it kind of I think Avondale is like the big moderator, whatever, owner something, I don't know what his title is, but he basically said, like, after everybody had been announced we were all in VC, and he was like this feels like the, you know, the night before Hunger Games, and it's the big party, you know. it was very cool, and like just everybody was hyping each other up. But as the announcements came out, they're like, "Yeah, go red! Yeah, go orange!" Like just going crazy, and yeah, it's been super awesome. And then like everybody's kind of been reaching out to other people and like scheduling more videos and stuff, and like just having access to like some incredible content creators has been incredibly.
Yeah, the build up looks really fun as well. Sadly, like you didn't get to stream too much of it. Once again, we'll get into talking about that very soon. It's getting sooner by the time. But yeah, like because of it, sadly, you get to do too much. I mean, and then what about the aftermath of the event? Because obviously you talked to a lot of creators and met a lot of creators. How did like a month later now? It's been about a month, give or take, since MCC Rising. So how what was it like? Because when I brought Generis on the podcast, we kind of went through because that whole podcast was about MCC Rising too. So we went through the games, we went through everything, and that was fresh off the bat. So like I thought it'd be really cool to bring you on a month later so we could talk about a month since. Well, has anything changed? Is everything back to normal? Anything different from it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is weird. We talked about it a little bit on like a podcast with Channel 64, but it is it's a very weird feeling to go just back to normal, because it's very hard to say, to like describe it without sounding ungrateful, because it was an incredible experience and we were so lucky and like so grateful and honored to be a part of it. But the best way that I can describe it was like being on a red carpet at like a movie premiere, right? There's cameras flashing at you, people are asking you questions, they're yelling you, look over here, and then Beyonce walks, and it's not that what you're doing isn't important and where you are isn't incredible, but now Beyonce's over there, and yeah, people are gonna look at Beyonce now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I kind of get that. Yeah, I get the idea behind it.
Yeah, like it was very strange, because like we had people making fan skins about us. That was the craziest feeling ever, and like people being so excited to watch our POV. And then like after MCC, it felt like none of that had carried over. So like it was very weird to go from sorry, my cat is playing with a toy over here. It was very weird. Okay, cool. She's like thudding things around. It was very weird to go from the like 100 average viewers from the actual MCC back down to 6 to 10, and it was very strange, and like it's very hard to say without sounding like
no, but
like,
I mean, because I guess like to kind of make you feel a bit better about talking about it, like I had Lucky on the podcast. We've talked about Lucky before the podcast. I had Lucky on the podcast before MCC Rising, and I believe it was actually before MCC Rising 2 got announced, because it was I think that was one of the podcasts, because I predicted MCC Rising 2. I also predicted the first MCC Rising by accident, and it was on that podcast. And no, it was after it got announced, because we decided to talk about it, and essentially like one of the things that he said was like in MCC Rising 1, because he was a participant, like the build up he was doing all right. The main event he did really well, and then bang, just next day back to normal, like nothing ever happened.
Exactly. It's almost like that kind of like emotional whiplash of everybody caring about who you are and everybody seeing, the feeling of being perceived, and then suddenly it's gone. Like it was very strange, and it was hard to cope with.
Yeah. Did it affect you, like,
I know a lot of,
in a way?
Like a lot of people, the other people on my team kind of struggled a little bit more with it. I think I dealt with it okay because I streamed the day after, and so I feel like I had more of like a slow fade out, instead of just kind of that hard drop. So like streaming the day after, even though I was completely exhausted from MCC, like streaming the day after, the people who maybe watched my perspective were able to come back the next day and be like, oh, you still exist,
Yeah.
And so I had a little bit more of like a slower kind of descent rather than that really harsh drop off. But like it's not to say that like, oh, we wanted to become famous because that's not true. Like we were incredibly honored to be a part of such an event. Like it was incredibly awesome. We met really cool people. Like we're in a Discord server with some amazing creators, and we get to talk to them if we want. Like so we didn't lose out here. And just like dealing with that emotional whiplash was a bit of a struggle for sure.
How I see it is like, and this is one of the things I said, is like MCC Rising 2, like I'm not saying this is you, by the way, so I guess like let me finish it before you take out content kind of thing, is essentially like, you know, MCC Rising 2, if you wanted to get into MCC Rising 2, you shouldn't just want to get into it for like cloud purposes. You should want to get into it because holy shit, it's MCC Rising 2. MCC Rising, sorry, holy shit, it's MCC. And I feel like with like you, for example, is like, no, even with you just in general, is like you got in because of holy shit, it's MCC, but you would have liked to have like had something from it kind of thing. And that's how I would have seen it as well. Like I would have loved to be in MCC just to play an MCC, but it would have also been nice to benefit from it as well, which I mean, I don't think anyone really did, which is strange. Like looking at a lot of the people who in MCs are into, I follow like a good amount of them on Twitch. It's like some of them benefited a tiny bit, but a lot of people who, I mean, Lackey said it after MCC Rising 1, he gained a crap ton of followers during MCCR, and then after like a month later, all those followers pretty much unfollowed.
Yeah, like Wade, who won the whole thing, like during the event, he had like over 500 people watching. It was going crazy, and then now he's still hovering around 20. It's very strange. Like I feel like this didn't happen after last Rising, at least not as harsh. But like I think it's not even about like keeping the viewers, but like it's more about the kind of like emotional feeling of having everybody look at you and then have everybody look away. Like it's not even that like we wanted a boost. Like I think that would cool, but and we did get somewhat of a boost, but that's like feeling like disappointed wasn't about like we didn't get as many viewers as we wanted. It was just like
nothing came from it. Like no, that's bad wording. Not that nothing came from it. Just like, you know, you just like the viewers only watched you in the event. They didn't watch you now to learn more about you. There we go. That's better wording.
Yeah. So it's sort of like that. Like it's weird to feel like you very much get in your head about like, okay, well, was I not funny enough during MCC? Was I not, you know, it's because they cared about being at MCC, and it has nothing to do with like us as content creators, about any of us who were in Rising. It's just they were there for MCC, and that's fine. And it was just dealing with that kind of like drop off. You get very much in your head, kind of overthinking, like, okay, well, what did I do wrong? And there's not much that you can do right or wrong. It's
but that would have been at the start. Now,
did.
Looking back on it now, you probably have lost that mentality. I mean, you've explained it there, how you like at the start you had that mentality until you saw that no one really is averaging. Everyone kind of went back to normal, and that's when you realized like it wasn't because of you, it was because of people just wanted to see an MCC event.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's what they wanted to watch, and that's what they got, and we had a great time. It's not like we didn't lose anything. We had an amazing time. We met amazing people, and we're like this. It felt like a starting. Like at the very least, we can say now, like I was at MCC Rising. I'm cool, you know. You might know me from this event, you know. Like having that sort of title is very fun.
With that then, like what about the content creators you met? Do you still interact with any outside of your team? I mean, I guess like I guess a way to look at it as well is, and I'm not saying this in a rude way, it's just because I probably would have never found out who you were because of MCC Rising 2. That's why you're on the podcast, essentially, not because you were in MCC Rising 2, just because that introduced you to me, or introduced me to you. No, it would have been you to me. Yeah, so like I didn't know who you were before. I didn't even know Channel 64 SMP existed, and maybe one day I would have found out about it, but like I mean, this entire podcast we've spent the last hour and a half talking before getting into MCC Rising 2, so clearly that's not the reason you're on the podcast, is because of that. It's like but because of MCC Rising 2, that's how I found out who you was. So I guess like, what about other content creators? Is that as like connection wise been benefited in that sense, or?
I think so, yeah. Haven't been super like talking with everybody. We've done a couple streams. I think Peep has been super hanging out with 4C. And I think it's just I don't remember. But yeah, we did a Project Playtime stream. And sometimes, you know, people will show pictures of their cats or whatever. But like if I know, I have a feeling, like I have like the sense that if I wanted to do a recording with these people, I could message them, they would remember me, and it wouldn't be like a, hey big YouTuber, can me small YouTuber have inch of clout please, you know, like
I get that.
Like meeting like I was on tier list. That was so cool. Like you remember the big like MC, the big MC creator tier list thing? I was in there. I was pretty much only on the don't know list, but you know what, I'll take it.
Still on a tier list, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, still on there.
Oh man, I have opinions on those tier lists, but I won't share them. I won't share my opinions, but No, yeah, I understand. That's fair. I mean, overall though, it was a fun experience. I thought it'd be really cool to talk about like the month aftermath, and you kind of like you essentially now talking about this shows that like the month aftermath. Like, I mean, MCC Rising 2 playing in it is glorified, but like people who are looking into it to like get as a clout boost, they can now look, but now they can see this podcast and be like, it would have never worked. And I think that must have been one of the things that Not Screw knew, was like, we want people who we definitely know are going to be in it just to have fun, not because they want clout, because Not Screw obviously know that like they must know, you know? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like what they basically told us was they wanted to, like, they gave us kind of a warning, like, hey, you might get clicks, you might not, that's not what you're here for, you know, like giving this sort of warning of like you were at a really cool event. You know, maybe people pay attention to you, maybe they don't, we still want you to have fun.
Yeah, so they must have
and
picked
that was
people
very
who
nice.
like they knew, because I mean, it's literally one of the things I said beforehand. Like, if you didn't get into MCC Rising, look at it like this: like, you either got in and you benefited because you got to play an MCC, or you didn't and your life stays the same. And like even afterwards, your life kind of just went back to normal, as you've mentioned. So overall, it didn't really like do the whole clout thing, anyways. If that makes any sense. Then, like,
we have a cool badge of honor, and we're just going back to doing our thing. We're making the content that we love, and you know, the few people that we've carried over from MCC are loving it. Like,
you also have a MCCI creator rank as well.
Yes, we still have that. We get to keep it. We have plobbies, which is
exactly.
Awesome.
So you have everything.
I thought they were gonna take it away, and they didn't.
Yeah, so exactly. So you know, you did get other things out of it as well. Like, and you clearly don't care about not getting the views. Like, obviously it would have been nice, but it's not something you were looking at, kind of thing. It's just a mention because that was a part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay then, two more things then before we end, Binnish, because I don't want to take away. I've taken away pretty much your entire morning. I apologize for that.
No, you're fine. I got time.
You mentioned in your intro that you do art. So it was something, like I said, I've seen your art piece and it's bloody amazing. And for some bizarre reason, I just forgot it was you who did the art piece. But we don't talk about that. Are you looking into doing more art going forward, or was that like a one-time thing, or what was the whole deal with that?
I do a lot of painting, just kind of on and off. I used to be really into it. I will probably end up getting more into it. I'm starting college soon, so I'm getting into I'm basically getting an art degree. So I will probably get much more into painting coming up. But like kind of over the summer, I don't super paint a lot. I'm putting my works in a gallery this November, which is terrifying. But yeah, fancy displays all to be sold. It's really cool. But yeah, I've done a lot of painting kind of on and off for several years. I would love, like, my goal is that if I ever get to a level that I can do merch, is that I would want to put paintings on, or like my paintings on my merch. I think that'd be awesome.
Cool, yeah.
But yeah, I mostly just paint kind of for fun, at least right now. So like sometimes I'll put them as my background decorations. I have a few of them hanging up around the house. But yeah, I don't super make painting my brand, really.
It's just
kind of something I'm like, oh hey, I do this too, you know.
Yeah.
Surprise, I paint.
That's cool. Yeah, and I just wanted to touch on it a little bit. I know there's not really too much to talk about. Have you got any ideas of what? I mean, I have that cat that you painted. Is that your cat?
No, it's just a random Pinterest cat. So just random reference photo, which is why I probably will never sell paintings, because they're not exactly mine, if that makes sense. They're mostly for practice. So but yeah, just a random cat holding a fish.
Fair enough. And have you got any ideas of what you wanna draw going forward, or paint going forward? Sorry.
I don't actually know. Usually I'll find like a random animal picture. I found actually no, I won't talk about that. Never mind.
No.
There's I'll tell you, but maybe don't put it in the podcast.
Tell me afterwards.
Okay. But yeah, I do want to paint some more. I don't want to. I want to paint some more stuff to put like in the background of my stream, because I think that's kind of fun. And I like posting it every once in a while on like Twitter. Be like, oh hey, I painted this new thing. But yeah, it's I usually do it if I need like a break from my piece. And then I'll find a picture when I sit down to paint. But I don't really have any specific plans going forward now.
Fair enough. And I guess then to wrap up the podcast, essentially, we've been saying we're going to talk about it this entire time, and I've been holding it on as like a final talking point. So you mentioned that you have a disability. What is the name of this disability?
So I have ulcerative colitis, which it's essentially Crohn's, but with more complications. If you know, Mr. Beast has Crohn's.
Yes, I heard about that.
Yes. So essentially, my guts are trying to kill themselves. Essentially, that's
Oh.
the
That is the
that's the
explanation,
simplest way. That's the simplest way that I can put it. So it's an autoimmune disorder. So my immune system flags the rest of my body as something that it needs to attack, basically. And so I've only been diagnosed for about 9 months, 10ish months. But I had a very good long period where I was essentially like bedridden before I got diagnosed. So I've actually got to be able to do content recently. I'm very happy about it.
When did you mentioned, I believe earlier, like you started to get ill? Was that like when was like, have you had this, how long has this been around for? I guess sorry, it's poor wording. I've been around, but
no, you're
I
fine.
hope you understand what I mean.
Yeah. It was, I think, around the start of COVID, around the start of the pandemic. We went indoors and stuff, and then I started getting sick then. And then I also started making content around the same time, and then I made content for, I think, maybe 4 or 5 months. No, it feels like longer than that. I think it was long. And then I started getting really sick. So I sort of had like a little bit of sickness, and then everything went like crazy downhill. And essentially I was sleeping 16 to 20 hours a day, and the 4 hours I was awake was spent in significant pain and misery. And then it was like that for a very long time, and then I finally got diagnosed in December, and actually started treatment, and now I can be a normal human.
I mean, I'd say I'm sorry to hear that, but it's probably not like, I mean, you seem to be dealing with it really well, which fair play, like big props to that. I guess like,
thank you.
I mean, like, once again, I know I'm asking questions on stuff that you've touched on, but it's just like more of an in-depth thing of it. Like, how has it affected your content creator life? Because I mean, one of the things was not being able to stream as much on the build up to MCC Rising 2. I saw on Twitter that you were getting like infusions. I mentioned it for the podcast because I asked how you were, and then that's what actually led into it being a podcast topic. So like what is like, how has it affected you? And like I said, once again, you've touched on it already, but I just guess in one little thing here kind of thing.
It's like, it's, if anything, it's hard to say, because because I'm disabled, I can't work. So in a way it helps, because it gives me an excuse to stay home and work all day with like I'm like, oh, woe is me, I can't get a job, guess I'll do YouTube. But like, there are a lot of times where I have to miss events, and I have to kind of step out and sit on the floor for a little bit, like just not feeling well. And like during the Arcadia thing, that was kind of around the time where I started getting really sick. It was this big event that I was supposed to be hosting, and I had to leave like 4 or 5 times during the whole thing just to like go throw up. Like, it was bad. And so there are days, like yesterday was a really rough like health day. And so like there have been days where it's very hard to sit at my computer and do what I need to do. Or I'll be like, I just want to edit, but I can't do it today. And it's been very much a struggle to accept the fact that I am disabled. So like, trying to figure out how to balance like existing as a disabled content creator and creating content, like trying to find that balance has been very much a struggle. But like, being able to, I think I very much learned how to be able to like tell where my limits are, if that makes sense.
But you don't, like, I don't know, you don't really not brand yourself around it, but like, you don't really mention it too much on line about how like you're a disabled content creator, so like not many people know it, including myself. Like, I mean, maybe you do, but as far as I'm aware, you don't really talk about it much. Like, obviously you posted the images of the am I right in said infusions, by the way? I've said infusions. Oh yeah, you literally called it final infusions. Right. Wait, no, I am right. Okay. Like, you posted about it, but you didn't really talk too much about, like, you don't really talk too much about it, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
I don't want being disabled to become my identity, really. Like, I don't want to be that disabled streamer. I want to be, you know, that hardcore streamer.
And that's why I'm not like
that...
with I mentioned to you before about Schreiber, and like in the title, the podcast was about like chromesthesia, so I put in the title. But like I'm not even putting this in the title. Like it might be as well. It might be like a highlight just to kind of, if that's completely fine with you. Oh, by the way, like when I say highlight, it's not like, oh yeah, like look at this really cool thing. Highlight channel is basically just like clips I've like a good like interesting throughout the podcast, and I feel like this is something that could bring attention. So like it'll probably be a highlight, and it'll probably be in like the starter clips, like to like kind of show the podcast, but it's not going to be in the title because we're not going to revolve like the whole, because we haven't revolved the whole podcast around it. That's why it's come last, because like you mentioned, you don't kind of, I don't know how to word this, but like you don't talk about loads. There we go.
Yeah, like
it's not your identity. I don't. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't want to make it like my whole brand, but also at the same time, I also want to talk about it because there was a really big period of my life where I thought that living how I was living was normal.
Oh.
And so if there was a content creator like me at the time who said, hey, you know, the normal amount of pain is no pain, then maybe I would have, you know, seen somebody. So I do think it's important for creators like me to talk about sort of like how I got treatment and how, you know, my experience. But also at the same time, ulcerative colitis is like an embarrassing disorder. You know, it's like, I have the intestine disorder. Oh no, you know, like
it's like, not embarrassing. No, don't say that.
It's just the one that people are always like apprehensive to talk about. That and Crohn's, they're like, it's like the one that people are kind of quiet about.
Yeah.
So, and I 100% get why, but like, I very much find it important to like make people known that being sick is not the norm, and it doesn't have to be the norm.
And like, look at you, you're a prime example. I mean, you got into MCC Rising 2, you was able to stream MCC Rising 2. I mean, you've been here for the podcast the entire time. We've been recording for like well over an hour and a half now. You've been able to talk the entire time despite like maybe not feeling 100%. And so you can still be something, you know, like it's not something that holds you back kind of thing. And you shouldn't let it hold you back. That's the word. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really crappy comparison, but hear me out. It's like when I look at the sky, right? When I look at the sky, I say that's the color blue. But the thing is, I could be seeing a completely different color to you for the color blue, but we'll never know.
Yeah.
Like unless we, because you can't really describe the color blue to someone.
Exactly. Like, we could all be seeing completely different rainbows, and
like,
we'll never know.
blue for you could be red for me, and red for me could be blue for you, kind of thing. If that makes sense. But like, unless we talk about it, I mean, this is something we can talk about. That's why it's a bad comparison. But like with the whole because in your head, until you get like that clarification or something happens in your head, you mentioned how like you just thought this was normal. You thought everyone was. Same with like Schreiber. I'm referencing that podcast. Is like when because chromesthesia is essentially, I mentioned it before, like it's essentially something like where every time you hear a noise, you see a flash and like a lot of like like a shape, and you see it in a certain color. And it's like up until he thought everybody had that. He thought that was just normal up until he talked about it, because to him he was like, yeah, no, like there's no point because everyone has this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there are a lot of people who think that, you know, their level of pain, whether it be ulcerative colitis or just like, you know, arthritis or something, like if somebody's just living with their arm hurting all the time, they may be like, oh, I guess just my arm hurts now, I guess that's just how I'm gonna live. Like, it is okay to go to a doctor. It is okay to ask, is this normal? It is okay to want answers, even if it's for like ADHD or something like that.
And even if it's scary.
Yeah, even if it's scary or embarrassing, like it's not. It's better. It's worth being embarrassed to not be in pain. If that.
Yeah, exactly. Because pain isn't normal.
Absolutely. And so yeah, I try, and I've been trying a little bit more to be more like open and like talking about it without I have like a vlog that I haven't done anything with, because I'm still debating on whether or not I post it, but it's from the week of MCC. So that week I had 3 infusions and then MCC, so that whole week I kind of tried to like vlog as like this sort of like, you know, my life as a disabled content creator, basically.
You could just title it the MCC experience.
Yeah, basically.
Just that, or my MCC, because my MCC experience. There we go.
Yeah. But like I want to try and start being a little more like open about things like that, because I think it very much is important, because I think there's not a lot of people that talk about ulcerative.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, no one knew Mr. Beast had it until he tweeted about it this year.
Yeah, and I 100% think that, well, I guess it's not really the content creator that Mr. is, but I think it'd be cool if somebody like him used his platform to be like, hey guys, just FYI, this isn't normal, you know?
Yeah, not like, it doesn't have to be normal. You don't have to be scared of it, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, you know, I mean, because it shows, I guess, in a sense of like how strong you are as well, that like you're still doing content, you're still here today, you're still doing what you do, despite having this, like, I mean, I'm really fingering my words, because obviously I don't have it, and like, as far as I'm aware, I don't have a disability. Once again, like, I could, that's the thing, there could be someone going on in my head or whatever that I think is normal, but I've just never talked about it. I guess that's perfect proof as well. I'm so thinking with how I word it, because like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mean it in a harmful way. I just don't want to say something that could be misinterpreted, kind of thing. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to talk about on that topic? Anything else that you want to mention, or?
Well, I don't know. Just that the normal amount of pain is no pain, and sometimes it's worth it to hit your out-of-pocket maximum.
Sometimes worth it to what? Sorry.
To hit your out-of-pocket maximum.
What does that mean? You're gonna have to explain that to me.
It's an American thing with insurance. If you have a private insurance, then typically you will have a certain cap of the amount of money that you have to pay before your insurance will just cover everything. So my out-of-pocket maximum is $8,000. Okay. I hit it January 1st of every year.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so like when you go to like a doctor, you'll be like, okay, I'll pay this much. My insurance will pay this much. You kind of like split it 50-50. But once you pay a certain amount of money, once you hit like that cap, then your insurance just takes over and they cover everything else, right?
Oh, which I guess in your situation is, I'd say, beneficial, right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It is beneficial in.
I don't know how it works, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, you're fine. It is beneficial because for my entire year of healthcare, I only have to pay $8,000. But if I was on an insurance that is more like a government type insurance, so for my state it'd be OHP, Oregon Health Plan. Basically they would cover a lot more, and I would be paying even less. But then I probably wouldn't have access to the treatments that I'm on now. So,
okay, so it's all just a bit of a mess, really.
Yeah. So they want the government insurance health plan. They typically want to go for like the cheaper options because they're paying for so much. So they would probably want me to be on a cheaper treatment versus being on private insurance. We can get kind of anything we want. So I'm able to be on a medication that is $24,000 a pop.
Oh, God,
and they're like, great, sounds good.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah.
So sometimes it is worth it to hit your out-of-pocket maximum, kids.
There we go. That's what the reference is. Got you.
Yeah, that's my statement.
With that being said, then before we wrap up the podcast here, is there anything we can expect in the future from you? Any big plans? Anything you can maybe hint at on the podcast?
A couple really big things actually. So in Channel 64 news, we're going to a convention on what day is it? Hold on, I know what day it is. wait.
You're going to the thingy
CubeCon.
CubeCon, yes.
Yes.
When is this podcast coming out?
October 6th to the 8th is when the convention is. I don't know when the podcast comes out.
I can't leak it. Okay, something's happening with that, but I can't leak it because this podcast is coming out before the convention. So.
Okay. But yeah, Channel 64 will be at CubeCon.
Oh, that's big. That's sick. I'm looking to try and go, but once again, I don't know if I'm busy or not. That's the issue.
So CubeCon 6th through the 8th, we will be there. We also in the personal Channel 64 news, my lore kind of story, it will be ramping up soon. And then I have a personal project that it probably won't be coming out for a bit, but kind of how do I describe it? A horror cinematic 3-part series. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Little 3-part mini thing, horror themed. It's going to be really cool. I am very excited about it. It's coming out really cool.
There we go.
That's more personal projects. And I think that's the only cool thing I'm working on.
You'll get to see you later down the line.
Oh, the other thing that we're doing, I completely forgot. Me and my friend are, we are doing a dual hardcore world.
Ooh, okay.
So the two of us will be on just a little hardcore server and making videos on it together and stuff, and doing the hardcore grind type thing. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Looking forward to it. So Binnish, where can we find you? You can. This is your chance to promote within reason.
Yes.
Absolutely anything you like. Absolutely anything.
Okay. So Channel 64 has their own YouTube channel, but I am on the Binnish YouTube channel, as well as
Name in the title.
Binnish Live on Twitch. What?
Your name, how it's spelled in the title, will be your YouTube.
Oh, BINNISH,
Sorry,
two N's.
I'm saying how it's spelled in the title is gonna. Yeah, it's fine. Anyways, yeah, carry on.
What? Oh, okay. You were. Oh, I. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
I listen. I'm also on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and I post little build fun things over there. So,
what's your name on Twitch again? Sorry, because I kind of talked over.
Binnish Live, twitch.tv/Binnish Live.
And then Twitter.
At Binnish with 2 H's.
There we go. Or isn't it 3 N's? I thought it was 3 N's on Twitter.
No, just 2.
You sure?
Yeah, BINNISH.
I know you are right. It's 2 H's. Sorry, yeah. I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was 3 N's. I don't know why I thought that. With that being said, then, Binnish, you've been an absolutely amazing guest, and it won't be this long. We have been recording for over 2 hours now. This is going to be fun to edit. Can't wait.
I'm so sorry.
No, I love the podcast. Don't worry, I love the podcast. I don't mind editing this. Plus, it's a lot easier to edit ones like this where like the conversation just flows because you apparently don't have anxiety. Maybe you do, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess that's actually with me. Really quickly, sorry, before we do wrap this up, link into what you were talking about earlier. I guess that's one thing I do. Like, I don't have it diagnosed, but I have anxiety, and I used to feel sick every single morning before school. And up until like my mum and dad told me it wasn't normal because it was happening too much. I was like, yeah, this isn't normal. I thought like everybody felt the way I did.
Yeah.
So there you go. I guess like I know it's a bit late, but there we go. I guess also if there's anyone who's lasted the outro, there's a little thing you get to hear. So
yeah.
But yes. With that being said, thank you, Binnish, again. You've been amazing.
Thank you.
This has been the InsideMC podcast, interviewing another amazing guest. Stay tuned, because from when this podcast is coming out, there'll be another guest announcement in 4 hours if you're listening to when it releases. I mean, there's a guest announcement every single Friday at 4 p.m. BST. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Pieces.